Agents, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Open, Chicago with the lead. Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5, touchdown Bears!
Time in 6 seasons, it's 1 goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. Right. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. Guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button. Now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. For doing a favor, go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Like that page as well. And now you're following Shawn and Maya in the morning in addition to Sports Zone Chicago. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real? All right. Listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the bell. That's the notification button. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? Got it? Good. Listen, if you're watching us on our mobile app, and wait, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on now. Listen, we have a mobile app, so you can take us with you on the go. So listen, wherever you get your apps from, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, wherever you get them from, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook, but I guess I'll tell you what. We give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping me abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. And if you're watching us on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And don't even tell me you didn't even know. Come on now, Sports Zone Chicago. We have our own Roku channel. Listen, so if you have a Roku device, a Roku TV in the house, do us this favor. Do us this solid. Okay, so here's what I need you to do. You ready? I need you to go and need you to download it to all the Roku TVs you have in the house. All right, put it there right next to Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Hulu, Showtime, Stars. Put it right there, smack dab in the middle. We'd appreciate it. And do it on all the television, the Roku TVs you have in the house. Even if it's in the kids' room, you know you're not going to watch it in there most likely, but that's okay. Just do us that favor. It'll be greatly appreciated. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapper, and TikTok. All one handle at The Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Kai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we have a hell of a show, and I am fired up about it today. But you know what? We need you to get interactive. So listen, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or a mobile app, you can get interactive there. Or if you're watching us on our Roku channel, watching us on the big screen because we're live right, Mickey, Ficky, now on the big screen. Okay? But Facebook, YouTube, and our mobile app, you can leave a question or comment on that particular platform, and guess what? It'll come up in the thread here. We'll get it on the screen. and we'll incorporate it into the show. And you know what? That is what makes this the best Chicago sports talk morning show around is you. All right? So listen, bring it. You know, ain't nobody scared over here, so bring it all. Bring all your questions, comments, smart-ass remarks. We love it, baby. We love it. Like I said, ain't nobody scared over here. Let's see who we got going on. So who's in the chat already? Cornelius Squalls. What up, baby? Levette Lee in the house. Good morning, Ma. Thanks for tuning in. Michelle Walls in the Mickey Figgy house. A hump day. What's up? And old man Reinsdorf finally made a bowl. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that because as happy as I am about it, we see I'm rocking my White Sox hat. There's a pause for concern because of what's going on and what we're hearing from our guy, Bob Nightingale, who's probably like best friends with Reinsdorf, and everything that Rob talks about pretty much comes true when it comes to the White Sox. So let's hold off on that, Michelle. Let's not get too crazy because I was fired up until I heard it and saw what Bob tweeted this morning. My man, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., he's in the house. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Junior? And no, I don't have bird poo-poo on my head. Junior, you got jokes, huh? You got jokes. Well, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this, that more of the usual suspects will be tuning in as the show goes on. But listen, when I say we have a phenomenal show, I am not bull jiving. At 9:30 at the bottom of the hour, we have our man Emilio Bucks from the Plunked podcast. He's going to join us, talk about White Sox news. Ooh-wee, big news. Should we get as excited as we want to be, as we should be, or what? Is it going to be more of the same? Six of one, half dozen of another. Is that what it's going to be like? We're going to find out. We're going to talk to Emilio Bucks at 9:30. At the top of the hour, at 10 o'clock. Oh, I almost forgot to vent out my tea. Forgot about my tea. You guys know I can't. I feel like Uncle Pecos. You know I can't play without my guitar string. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. But I need my tea. Uncle Pecos. Who'd have thought you'd have come to Shawn and Maya in the morning and would have received an Uncle Pecos reference? If you don't know who Uncle Pecos is, yeah, I can't rock with you that hard. You know, I can't play without my guitar string. And I can't do a show without my tea. Oh, man. At the top of the hour, my man Ken Davis from the NBC Sports Chicago. He is the host of the Under Center podcast. We got some Bears news to talk. This offensive line is... Oh, man. Tevin Jenkins is out. Nate Davis is in and out. Darnell Wright stepped out yesterday. What the hell, Bobby? We got a lot to talk about. Should we be nervous? Should we play Justin Fields in this last game with a banged-up offensive line? We're going to talk to Ken Davis at 10 o'clock. We'll get that. We'll get those questions answered. Well, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah. Let's see. First top of the morning topic. Where do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Oh, que la frega. All right. We'll start here. And it was a rough day in baseball yesterday. The White Sox. Yeah. The White Sox, they fall at home. Mariners 6-3 yesterday. Rough day for the good guys. Mike Clevenger, he got the loss. He's 5-6 on the season. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 punch-outs. Andrew Benintendi was 1 for 4 with a homer. His 3rd of the season, driving in his 39th of the year. And Andrew Vaughn was 2 for 4, driving in his 64th RBI of the season. My man Yo-Yo starting to play a little better. He was 2 for 5 on the night. But the big news. I can't believe old man did it. Unbelievable. They're gone. The White Sox fire Executive Vice President Kenny Williams and General Manager Rick Hahn. Let me tell you, that was a bombshell. That was a bombshell. You know, it is Sox fans, we are happy. We are elated. As you see, I am wearing my White Sox baseball hat that I thought I was going to put away for the fall, winter, spring, maybe summer of next year. But I am excited about it. But I do have a cause for concern. Okay, it's unfortunate. I mean, look at Rick Hahn's tenure. All right, losing seasons 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 20, that was the shortened year, the COVID year. 21, we won the division title. 22, went 81 and 81. So it would have been almost, it was almost an extra, 3, 4, 56, 17, 18, 19. Would have been 8 out of 10 losing seasons. Okay, one division title back in 21. Postseason record 2-5. And his overall record was 749 and 893. That, my friends, will not get it done. So it was time. It was time. And our guy Bob Nightingale tweeted this out this morning. All right, he expected to promote Chris Getz, the general manager, with Rangers executive Dayton Moore being his boss as the executive, probably as the vice president. So Chris Getz looks like he'll be the GM and Dayton Moore will be the VP. We're going to talk about that later. I don't know if I'm not very happy about that. But you know what? Later tonight, the White Sox, they host the Mariners again. I'm sorry, today at 1:10 p.m. Michael Kopech's on the bump. He's 5-11 with a 5.12 ERA. He's going against George Kirby, who's 10-8 with a 3.23 ERA. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. My man, Luis Mejia in the house. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind. I appreciate you. Oh, man. Can't get your sound to work. Oh, shoot. That stinks. Work on it. Work on it, Papa. See if we can get it done. The next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs fall to the Detroit Tigers. Detroit Tigers in Motown. Drew Smyly. He got the loss. He's 9-9 on the season. He went 3 2/3, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 punch-outs. Dansby Swanson had a day, son. 2 for 4 with a homer, his 19th. Driving in 4 ribbies, 61, 62, 63, and 64 on the season. And the Candyman can, and he did. Jamer Candelario, he was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, his 36th. Hitting his 18th homer of the season. Driving in his 58th and 59th runs of the season. Mr. Outcast himself, Heiya Suzuki, he was 2 for 3. And Mr. Moneybags to beat, Cody Bellinger, he was 1 for 4 on the day. So the Cubs, all right, they'll be at Detroit. They're playing at Detroit again. That's a 12:10 start Central Time. Jameson Taillon is on the bump for the North Siders. He's 7-8 with a 5.56 ERA. He's going up against Tariq Skubal. He's 3-2 with a 3.76 ERA. Whew. Man, oh man, oh man. Not so much going on, not too many exciting things going on the north side, especially after the bomb that was dropped yesterday on the south side. But the Cubs just can't keep losing to teams like this. How many times have we talked about if you're trying to get in the playoffs, and you're trying to get to the division, you cannot continue to lose games like this. All right, you fell a half game back as Milwaukee was idle yesterday, and you're 3.5 back. All right, you should be 2.5 back. All right, you can't continue to lose to these bottom feeding teams. You lose to these bottom feeding teams at this stage of the game, it doesn't bode well for you. It doesn't bode well at all. All right, you shouldn't have lost to the White Sox that one game. And I'm not saying you go on a 12-game win streak. No, man, go 10-2. Go 10-2 would have been good. 9-3 would have been the worst that you could do. You can still go 9-3. You just got to win the rest of your games in this stretch that finishes with 3 against Milwaukee. But man, this is you can't keep stumbling like this, Cubs. You can't. You can't, because trust me, if you make the playoffs, us Sox fans are gonna be talking shit too. We got nothing to lose. We know it's a cesspool over here. So if we can spread our misery to the north side, we will. We definitely will. It's just the meathead in us. Hey, and don't act crazy, because you got a lot of meathead Cub fans, just as many. Actually, there's probably more meathead Cub fans than Sox fans. So I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. Your nonsense. Forget about it. Forget about it. Next topic, the Sky. Woo! The Sky beat the Seattle Storm yesterday, 102-79. Marina Mabrey, she had 19 points. Dana Evans led the way with 23 points. She also gave 8 dimes. She gave them up. She was like, there you go. 8 dimes for Dana Evans. Smith had 14. Alana Smith had 14 points, 7 rebounds. It's a tough season. It's a tough season for the girls. All right. The top 4 of the 5 starters left. Their head coach bailed in the middle of the season after the season started. Like, come on, man. I thought that was just I've said it before, but that's a cowardly move, man. All right. Cowardly. I know you got a job in the NBA, but you had plenty of time. It would have overlapped a little bit, but you know what? He saw the ship was sinking, and he jumped. He left. I don't have a lot of respect for him. Like, dude, go on with your team. Okay, you just won the WNBA title a couple years ago, and when things got bad, you bounce. Yeah, not a big fan of James Wade. Not a big fan at all. That's my own personal opinion. All right. Next topic. Yay. Lonzo Ball. How great is this? Wonderful. He confirmed on a podcast yesterday that he confirmed. You know how they say when replay, not stands, confirmed he will miss the entire 23-24 season. Great. Just what we need, isn't it? Just what we need. We knew that was most likely, but let's make it official. For a goof, huh? For a goof. Let's make it official. How about that? Oh man, that was something else, However, he did clap back at Stephen A. Stephen A. said one of his sources said that Lonzo Ball couldn't even stand up on his own. And he was on Twitter yesterday, and he was standing up, getting up and down and out of a chair off the surgically repaired knee. Okay, that's great, buddy, but we need you back. All right, spare me and stop trying to prove Stephen A. wrong. You just get your ass healthy. Don't worry about that. You just get your ass healthy, because what we lost because of his absence is huge. We have no idea where this team can go, how deep in the playoffs this team could get, how much damage they could do with him running the show. And it sucks because he's not the best player on the team by any stretch, but as we've seen in the last 2 years, he might be the most important. Unreal. Unfreaking real. Well, the next top of the morning topic, this is, how about a little bit of good news? Our man, Mongol, Steve McMichael. Yes, baby, yes. He has got one step closer to the induct. For all intents and purposes, I think he's in. But let's wait till it's official. All right, he got a call. The committee narrowed it down from 12 to 3, and a Chicago Bears source confirmed. This is according to Patrick Finley from the Chicago Sun-Times. A Bears source confirmed that McMichael has moved into the final 3. So, keep our fingers crossed. He'll make it to the final 3, and if he is, he'll be inducted. And man. And if you've been under a rock and you don't know about this whole situation, Steve McMichael has been battling ALS. Okay, he was diagnosed with that in April of 2021. He's been bedridden for 2 years and cannot speak. He can move his body parts and things, his arms and his face, but he's bedridden. And it's a shame for him that he had to wait this long, because the numbers he has are better than many of the people in the Hall of Fame. And, he was overshadowed on that defense. And not to say that he wasn't a personality, because believe you me, he was a personality. Okay. But when you got people on that defense like Samurai Mike Singletary, who's in the Hall of Fame, Dan Hampton, he's in the Hall of Fame. The other 2 linebackers, Wilbur Marshall and Otis Wilson. Okay. Those Wilbur Marshall's knocking quarterbacks out on a regular. Okay. It's easy to get overlooked. Then the Fridge, another D-line counterpart. Remember, that was the Fridge's rookie year, so there was a lot of hype around him. And then the Bears started using him on the offense like the Niners did the year before with Guy McIntyre. Lead blocking out of the backfield, running out of the backfield on goal line situations. It's easy, then you had the punky QB on offense, and Walter, of course, the best player to ever do it. Easy for him to get overlooked, and it's about time. It's unfortunate that his journey has taken him this way, but hopefully he's able to get enshrined, and that would be dope. That would be truly, truly, truly dope for him, for his family, because his battle it's ongoing. It's going to be a never-ending battle for him. And at least he'll see. And believe you me, he understands. He's capable. He's cognizant. He just can't speak, and he understands what's going on. He understands who's around him. These are from all the reports. Dan Pompei, award-winning journalist, was over there plenty of times. Plenty of his former teammates have been there. Dan Hampton. I'm not sure if Doug Plank went there. Then you had some of his wrestling buddies. Ric Flair has been present often. So he knows who's there. It's just his ability to communicate has been taken away from him. So when his wife Misty tells him that, is fortunate enough to tell him that he's in the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts crying. That's probably the best way for him to live out his final days, months, year, 2 years, knowing that he's gone and he's been elected to the Hall of Fame. So, my man Brandon Schutz, good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. How you doing? All right. Ric Flair is still the man. He still is. Ric Flair is one of those guys that has a big personality. Let's put it that way. And the love and respect he's shown for Mongo, Steve McMichael, is crazy. Shows you how big of a personality that McMichael had, and what kind of guy that he is for someone like Ric Flair, to come to Chicago to be with him on numerous occasions. It's apparent that was his guy. Apparent that they had plenty of great times together while wrestling, and it's apparent that he means a lot to Slick Rick. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk to my man Emilio Bucks. He's from the Plunked podcast, and we're going to. Is he ecstatic? Because he's decked out in his White Sox gear, boy. He said, "I just took my hat out of storage, and I take the plastic bag, take it out of the plastic bag, you know." But Emilio is decked out in the jersey. I don't want to go that far because I'm still mad at him, but you know. So we'll talk to Emilio Bucks on the other side of the break. So listen up, folks. Don't go anywhere and keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Less than an hour ago, the White Sox released a statement announcing that both Ken Williams, the executive vice president, and Rick Hahn, the senior vice president and general manager of the ball club, have been relieved of their responsibilities.
2 outs. Line drive left field. The Sox take the lead. Andrew Vaughn comes through. And it's 1-0. Out. 1-1. Swinging a ground ball to short. Elvis has it. He'll flip over to second. Relay in time. Nice. Still loaded. Need another ground ball here at somebody. Or that. A swing and a miss. Strike 3. There you go. Clevenger strikes out Marlon. Benintendi. That ball's crushed to right field. That ball is crushed. Yes, it is. Benintendi's second home run against the Mariners.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. We see those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Those were the good guys not getting it done yesterday yet again on the field. And this was after the news. All right. So we're going to bring in my first guest, and I'm excited to talk to him. I want to get his perspective. He is as a diehard Sox fan as I am. and I can't wait to get his thoughts. He's the co-host of the Plunked podcast on Chicago Clubhouse Network. You can find him on Twitter at ebucks76. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya, my man, Emilio Bucks. Emilio, what's up, Papa? Good morning. You got you on mute. You're on mute still. You're on mute.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
There we go, Papa. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. Feeling good with both hands, big man.
Okay.
I woke up with a feeling of being refreshed, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. So I pulled out the hat, pulled out the jersey. I hate to celebrate somebody, especially a brother, losing his job. But what do we work jobs for money? So financially, those guys are fine.
Yeah, he ain't going into the unemployment line.
He ain't going in unemployment line. He ain't getting no assistance.
No,
His
he ain't getting no
kids
WIC.
don't have to come out of private school, nothing like that.
Yeah, he ain't in the WIC list anytime soon.
It's all good. All good.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited, but there is one pause for concern, man, and that's the thing I wanted to talk to you about. According to my man Bob Nightingale, and Bob basically has the bat phone right into Jerry's office, and it's talked about. Here it is. It says Rick Hahn is expected to promote Chris Getz to general manager, with Rangers executive Dayton Moore likely to be Chris Getz's boss. Now, I have an issue with that.
My feeling of happiness just turned into nausea as I was reading Bob Nightingale's tweet while I was backstage waiting. I was like, what? But go ahead. Yeah.
Same verse, second verse, same as the first, because now you got Chris Getz, and here's my issue. What players have we brought up through the system? What players have we drafted and developed and brought to the show that have been major contributors? Take away the name Tim Anderson. I don't know who else we can be put in that, and that falls on Chris Getz. He was the director of development in the minors. So Rick Hahn got you all this talent, and we're not developing people.
You might throw Luis Robert Jr.'s name in there.
Okay, because we did sign him. Yeah, he was signed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is also my concern, sir. If he failed at developing the farm system, how is he going to be expected to now fix the farm system he failed to develop? Is this just another case of Jerry just slapping a Band-Aid on a gash again, hiring from within instead of getting a real fresh take, an outsider to come in and make some necessary changes?
Emilio, that's the key thing. Fresh eyes, a fresh take. That's the key thing. You got to come in and say and look at it with no bias, no prejudice. You didn't help develop any of these kids. You didn't draft any of these kids. You didn't trade for any of these kids. Nothing. You're
not already in love with this team.
Yes. Yeah. Because there is still a lot of talent. Let's not get it twisted. This team is extremely talented. They're just a shitty team. They're great individuals, but they're just a shitty team. That's probably the best way to put it. And that's sad. And I was listening to Ozzy this morning because I never miss Ozzy. I love him. I do. And he said the same thing. I'm like, bingo. You just have a whole bunch of talented players who don't play as a team.
And who are oft injured. We have to throw that in there because that's been a major, and I'm not using that to defend anything, this team, their effort when they are healthy or lack thereof. I'm definitely not using it to defend Rick and Kenny, but injuries and maybe the strengthening, coaches that we have are poor as well. A lot of injuries have been the major downfall of this team as well.
Yeah, and they just got a new strength and conditioning staff like 2 years ago. This is crazy. So here's my thing. I'm excited about it. It's somewhat of a start. More, you know what? It seems like more of a reboot. All right. So you're
Rick and
probably
Kenny
gonna
2.0.
yeah, but here's the thing that does give me a little bit of hope. Okay. Dayton Moore. Okay. He got the Royals to the World Series twice. Okay, as their GM. So that is great for me. That excites me. Okay, good. Okay, one executive of the year after 2015 when they won the World Series. Okay, that excites me. I just don't like. I don't want Chris Getz there. I don't. I hope, and the thing that I'm concerned with, I hope, and is that this guy stands up. Well, he's going to be the president. All right, he's going to be Chris Getz's boss. Hope he's obviously got an eye for talent because Kansas City, they always have talent. They just don't keep it. They just don't pay it. Oh, you're time for your second contract? You know what? Fine, we'll trade you middle of the season so we don't got to pay you. That's their MO, and it's worked well for them. I just hope that this guy has the balls to continue making great moves. As you see, he's gotten good talent in Kansas City. But Chris Getz, to me, boss, is the one that really, really makes
Another
brings my
Kansas
joy down.
City toss away. Like what is
True.
What is it with this team's backdoor handshake that they have with the Royals?
But I'll tell you this guy's a winner. This guy's a proven winner. He's got them to the World Series twice, got to win one. That's the only thing. But I do agree with you. And it's funny you say that. Ozzy said the same thing this morning, and he said, "What's with this? Why do we keep going after Kansas City guys?" I don't know. But at least he comes more with more on his resume than Grifol did, and that I'm okay with. Because you take a team and you lead a team, you're the general manager of a team that goes to the World Series. I'm going to listen to what the hell you got to say. I'm going to excited to see what it is you want. What moves you want to make.
I feel you, but how long ago was that Kansas City World Series? That was 10 years ago.
15, 8.
15 years ago.
No, 2015, so 8 years ago.
Oh, 8 years. Okay, so this is a what have you done for me lately? All of these leagues are what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, real talk.
And 8 years removed, I don't know. He just seems like possibly Kenny Williams 10 years later. Kenny did it in 05.
Yeah.
This guy did it in 15. What are we hoping he does it in 25 now? Yeah, he did win, but he won. Man, I would take somebody from Tampa Bay's cleaning staff as the GM because that is a team that knows how to get it done. Not the Royals or even Texas. Give me somebody from St. Louis's organization, the Dodgers organization, Houston's organization.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Kansas City's organization? Getting somebody because he won in Kansas City 8 years ago? I mean, I'm not dismissing what you're saying, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't feel good about the direction. I mean, Jerry Reinsdorf just has a way of sucking the air out of everything. Like you get us all excited with this firing yesterday, and then it worried me when I heard him say he's going to have somebody in place by season's end. I'm like, so you've already picked.
Basically, for all intents and purposes, yeah.
And so you're not even waiting to see who's available in other organizations. You've already picked. You've already picked from your own failure of an organization.
Yep.
Because they have failed on the minor league level in development, as you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be your GM, the guy
who's I don't feel good about them, but that might be it. because I mean he finally let go of Paxson and Foreman with the Bulls, replaced them with AK and Eversley, but somehow the Bulls are still, and now here we are about to replace a GM and an executive vice president with the White.
Yeah.
You there? I think we have some
Yeah.
connection
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. You're freezing on me a little bit. Yeah, and you're right. They finally got rid of Kenny Williams
Yep.
and Rick Hahn, but to promote Chris Getz to me is a cause for concern. And hopefully this guy from Kansas City looks at it differently. I hope Dayton Moore comes in with a fresh. I mean, it is a different set of eyes. All right, it's not a guy in the organization. So at least the guy running it all, not the GM, but the GM's boss is coming at it with a different perspective, a still I wouldn't say tainted one, but still he still had connection to the side. They used to play 19 times, so he still understands. I would have loved someone to come in with no connection whatsoever. I looked at it from 10,000 feet and said, this got to go, this got to go, this guy's got to go, this guy's got to go, this guy's got to go. Boom. And that's the thing. So hopefully he can. I mean, as good a day as it is, there is still pause for concern. But I'll tell you this, it still is a good day because there is a new beginning. And maybe it really, if this executive comes in, because how many times did we talk about the Bears and they need to sell and blah 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 blah. As long as they're okay, all of a sudden they got a guy in there, and not even talking about Kevin Warren. I'm talking about the GM in Ryan Poles. He came in with a new perspective, so it can be done. You can still have crappy owners but it's got to be once you cut it. You get in the middle and say, okay, I'm taking over. We got as long as this guy is if this guy can get his talent and build a team like he did in Kansas City. I know it was 8 years ago, but how many championship teams has Rick Hahn GM'd? None. I mean, look at what we hear. And I put this up. Here's losing seasons 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They have the shortened COVID season in 20, or that might have been another losing season. 21, okay, we won 90-something games. 22, we're 81 and 81. So we're one bad player, one lucky play away from falling under 500 there again. So I don't know. I'm happy.
That picture of him.
Yeah. He's calling. Can I get an Uber, please? I need to leave.
Right. They took my company car from me already. I need a ride home.
This key fob doesn't work. I need to go home.
Right.
So then my question to you is this. Will they have a Sox Fest now? Because these guys can't answer questions about Kenny, can't answer questions about Hahn. This is a new regime. And if you want to build rapport with your fan base who you just pissed off royally the last couple of seasons, I would think you would have them. But your thoughts, do they have Sox Fest now?
I think they do. Because I think they're going to do and say all of the right things because they're professionals. Chris Getz, like him or not, he's a professional. And Jerry Reinsdorf, like him or not, he's a professional too. And so the move is to have Sox Fest. You introduce your new president and GM or whatever their titles are going to be, introduce them to the fans openly. And they don't have to be held accountable for anything in this Sox Fest because they wouldn't have done anything. So sure, they can answer all the questions in the world because they don't have anybody pushing up on them about past failures or anything like that. So for that reason, I do think you have Sox Fest. it's the best PR move you could do right now, hiring a new GM, new president.
I agree. And guys, we're joined by Emilio Bucks. He's the co-host of the Plunked podcast on Chicago Clubhouse Network. Talking White Sox baseball right here after the big news dropped yesterday. Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams were both fired. Sox fans, Sox Nation is pretty happy. Okay, they're pretty happy, but that could be short-lived depending on, once we settle in and kind of look what's coming. Like, oh snap! So we hope it's not more of the same, because if it is, and I'm going Friday. The return of the night, return of the '90s tour, or the '90s tour with Vanilla Ice, Tone
That's
Loc,
right. Get
and
your Ice baby on.
yes, baby.
Hey man, that track was hard. I never wanted to admit it. The track was hard, but I can admit it now. But
Rob Bass, it takes
right.
two. So Rob Bass has got 2 songs. Tone Loc's got 2 songs. Vanilla Ice has got 1. Does he have a second song? I don't know.
I mean, if you count the Ninja Turtle song,
So he's got 1.5 songs.
so
So
you got 1.5 songs.
So it's a 6-song concert.
Hey, if those, you'd be surprised, guys that have been performing as long as they have, how long they'll stretch those 2 songs out, and they'll rock out for 30, 40 minutes off of 2 songs, little crowd participation. You'll be in there. Like I've seen Tone Loc perform, and he shut it down with 2 songs. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. He shut it down.
Okay.
So I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. Now,
Dude, you just got me a little hyped up, bro. You got me a little fired up.
Yeah. Tone Loc's a pro, so get ready for a good show.
Okay.
Yeah. But going back to what you said about, are we gonna be happy? You know what? Not everybody's ever gonna be happy. I mean, I know people who are calling for Ryan Poles to be fired already, and he's only been in there a year. You know what I mean? And it's like,
those that we know. Those are people you just. Those are like those little annoying kids that you have. They're 3 years old. Like, yeah, okay, fine. You just ignore them and like, okay, here's a cookie. Shut up.
right. So no matter who you bring in, there's going to be naysayers and people who don't agree with the hire. I may be one of them. You know what I mean? And if you bring Chris Getz in, I'll be a person who disagrees with this hire until Chris Getz shows me otherwise. And I truly hope he does. I mean, look, man, it's still White Sox all day. You know what I mean? And then there was talks of them moving just 2 days ago before this big story. The big story was them moving out of guaranteed rate in a few years, possibly moving to Nashville or something. It's been a big week in White Sox news.
So what are your thoughts of them moving? Do you think that, do you first of all, do you think they move? Was that just a PR? Was that just like, look over here while we drop this bomb over here?
I don't think that they move. I think that Chicago's still the perfect city for the White Sox. It's still a big market, and he's got a big market team. His team is still worth like a couple of billion. You know what I mean? So like, why would you move it to a smaller market?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ninja rap, exactly. Vanilla Ice will hit you with the Ninja rap encore.
So
go Ninja.
I think he don't start, dude.
I'm sorry.
You can have me laughing the rest of this interview, fool.
I'm getting hyped.
So yeah, I think it might have just been just something to stir the pot, just get something to get people talking. And because first of all, I don't think Major League Baseball let them move. All right, that's for starters.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You're not going to take. You're not going to take them out of Chicago. I think the dynamic is too great here. And even moving. The north side, south side. That whole works. That works in the city. That still works across Major League Baseball. And if you moved them to Arlington Heights or Skokie or Winnetka or Waukegan or Gary it's not going to have the same effect. So I don't think Major League Baseball is going to let them move. I think it's just bullshit, a lot of hot air he's saying, and
Yeah.
I don't think
It might have been something to even throw his people off while he was firing Rick and Kenny. You know what I mean? Have something for them to talk about while he was making this big move right under their nose. So who knows what the thinking was on the threat of moving from the South Side.
I don't know. Well, let's talk about moving forward. We talked about, we have a lot of good players. All right, Yo-Yo looks like he was, he remembered how to play baseball again. Either that, or, he stopped. You know why he can't? He hasn't been shooting any videos because the writers are on strike, so they can't. No, I'm just kidding. But Yo-Yo's been hitting the ball well. It seems like guys seem to be playing a little harder, and it hasn't accumulated or amounted to a lot of wins. But I see Yo-Yo playing better. And believe me, I like that. Lou Bob is just starting to turn into the freaking stud that we know he could be. Your thoughts on the Cuban guy? Yo-Yo and Lou Bob,
Yo-Yo, I mean, he's playing with free money.
Well.
He's playing with free money right now, so there's no pressure. You could possibly argue he's healthy for the first time this year. I think he was one of the biggest letdowns and one of the biggest pieces to why this hasn't worked the past couple of years, and it's been because of mostly his inavailability. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't been healthy. First he got COVID, and then he never seemed like he quite made it back from that. And then, with the oblique and the back stuff, which has affected his swing. Like they really counted on him, and he wasn't able to come through, whether, there was reports about him not being a hard worker. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, their injury, he's been probably the most disappointing of them all. But yeah, he will be back next year.
Hell yeah, nobody wants that $25 million contract.
So he will be back next year, and hopefully, there are no expectations going into next season, so maybe that'll work in his favor. Maybe this guy's will play a little bit looser, or maybe he'll just start playing for his next deal someplace. I don't know. But again, and I like Yo-Yo. I want to like Yo-Yo, but he has been far and wide the most disappointing of this core of players.
I'd spit some vitriol at you, but I can't disagree with you, man. That's my guy. I love me some Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
But keeping it a buck, man. He hasn't. Was he going to be a home run hitter? Is he going to be a hitter for average? He hasn't decided that yet. And I think once he decides it,
neither.
Once he and then but when he hasn't, because he hasn't decided, he doesn't know what the hell he wants. So if and I think for him, it just has things sprayed all over the yard. Right, you got you're still young. You still have the ability to run the bases. So put the ball in play and get your ass running on the bases. Put the pressure on the defense. I think that's what he needs to do. That's what got him. What did he finish? Third? The year Kenny, the year TA winning title, he finished third.
Yeah.
All right. That's because you're aggressive early in the count. All right. You slap the ball all over the field. Put the ball in play. Put the pressure on the defense. You have that ability. Don't worry about the home run. We got enough home run guys. We got plenty of home run guys. All right. You don't, and you're going to catch a couple. Don't get me wrong, because he's very strong, but he needs to worry about being a good hitter for average, taking going deep in counts or being aggressive on early pitches. That's what we need from him, and he's got to settle in on that, and he's got to be fully committed. I think the biggest issue with this team, though, is it's not even about the guy that they believe is going to be the general manager in Dayton Moore, not even Chris Getz. It's who the manager is going to be. That's what I want to see. Who the manager is going to be. Ozzy was talking this morning, and he was saying he was talking to Bruce Bochy last year, and he's like, "Hey, when they bring, he goes, I know this roster." He wanted to kind of help him, give him a heads up on what's going on, And he's like, "Well, they haven't even called me for an interview." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So you bring it. Is Dayton Moore guy that he's going to need all the control. He's going to need all the glory. He's going to need to be the puppet master, him or Chris Getz. Because if they're going to be puppet masters, then it's the same shit all over again. Literally the same shit all over.
And with the same owner, are we looking at a guy who's going to be handcuffed to his desk again and not be able to make the moves that are out there to be made? A lot of this falls on Jerry Reinsdorf, his unwillingness to spend, his unwillingness to do business with certain teams. Uh, so not everything is going to change overnight. And what happened to the one singular voice that they mentioned yesterday, or that was mentioned in the press release? Now you're bringing in two guys. You said you were bringing in one last night. Now you're bringing in two guys. So it's kind of all over the place. It kind of stinks, of like, yeah, you're doing shit, but you're not really doing shit. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. And so again,
but
the
you're not
biggest
really trying. You didn't take the time to go find somebody to run your ball club if you just hired a guy who's just been sitting there right underneath you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The manager for me is going to be the biggest telltale. All right, does he go with a manager who one has experience? All right, because if you go with a manager with experience and even a World Series, a healthy playoff resume, all right, that means that you ain't going to be able to control him. He's not going to be a puppet. All right, he's going to say what he wants. He's going to want to put the line together. He's going to make decisions on playing time and so on and so forth. And that's what we need. We don't need the front office saying, well, we're paying him X amount of dollars, or we need to get him a look. This guy, I need a manager to say, no, this is who I want out here. Here's what's best for this team, in my opinion, and that's what it's going to be. If we get another puppet, so again, that's why for me, Emilio, the managerial hire is the biggest hire right now.
And one of the most disappointing parts about the possibility of Chris Getz coming in is that also means is they will not look at Ozzie again. Again, Ozzie will not have a shot. If you're hiring from within, they're not going to give Ozzie a shot.
Yep. And I'm okay with
wrong.
And I'm okay if they don't give Ozzie a shot, as long as you're bringing another championship manager who can hold who comes in with gravitas, and when he talks, you have to listen because he's got a World Series ring or two in his book, on his bookshelf. So I don't know. I still would love for Ozzie to get the gig, but I agree with you. Now the chances, and then again, now does he even want it? Like, he loves being in the studio. He loves being a grandfather. He's got three grandkids now, so he's playing with them. On a regular. So does he want the grind, the daily grind of spring training, of being away from the kids, his grandkids? Right. Does he want that at this particular point of his life? Because he looks happy as hell as a granddad.
Yeah, he does. He does. I think he would do the job. I think he would take the job if offered to him, though. I hear you. It's definitely a question. Does he want to come out of like the comfort zone that he's in? But I think he wouldn't look for another job.
Yeah.
But if the White Sox job came calling, I think he would be inclined to take it.
Yeah. Emilio, great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it, man. Before you go, though, do me a big favor. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
You can find us Sunday night at 8:05 p.m. Central Time on Plunked. We are on the Chicago Clubhouse Network. You can also catch me on Twitter at ebuck76, and you can also catch me at Plunked Chicago on Twitter as well. And that's about it. I'm on there ranting and cursing up a storm. So, like, let's go.
Hey, but at least for today, my mom always said, "Don't borrow the sorrow from tomorrow." All right.
There
so
you go.
Tomorrow I'll worry about the Chris Getz being the GM and everything. I'll worry about that tomorrow. But today, let me just relish in the fact that Kenny Williams.
Let's be happy about a change.
Yes. So for one day in the season, we are happy.
The only day.
Hey, man, great stuff. We'll be in touch soon, Papa. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Guys, that's Emilio Bucks from the Plunk Podcast on the Chicago Clubhouse Network. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, man's in them. Ken Davis from NBC Sports Chicago. We got a lot of Bears to talk. We might even talk a little Sox, see if he's happy, if he's doing ding dong, the witch is dead, or if he thinks it's more the same old with Chris Getz. Most likely, according to our guy Bob Nightingale, most likely being the general manager. We'll see. But my man, Ken Davis, up next. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
to run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Mooney! Jones will walk at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now we will accelerate to get the first down. Great tackles, and he's off to the races. And we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Going down, I'm on fire. I'm definitely in my zone. Fire in my bones, so best believe it's on. Sweat and tears, I've invested in this game. So I lay it on the line because I come to do my thing. Do my thing. I'm on fire. Ain't nobody putting in the work that I put in, I shut it down. Blood, sweat, and tears, I've invested in this game. So I lay it on the line because I come to do my thing.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That is soon to be Hall of Fame. Steve McMichael. Man, I hope it all comes down. I'm excited about that. But I'm also excited about my next guest. And he's a good friend of the program. He's been rocking with us for years. Holding a Stein or not, he's still a good friend of mine. He is the host of the Under Center podcast on NBC Sports Chicago. You can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. Guys, welcome back. Our guy, Ken Davis.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Man, I'm good. I skipped the intro because I wanted to get right into it because there's a lot to talk about. Because I would have brought you in the Barry White way.
That's fine. That's fine.
But let's talk about this. Mongo McMichael got a call. He's been withered down from 12 to 3. Looks like it. Most likely he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's about time, I believe. Give me your thoughts on him most likely being entered into the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
I wish he could enjoy it. I hate to bring up something like that on a fortunate day of his. And I hate that old 70s Pittsburgh Steeleritis that the 85 Bears kind of got mushed into, where it's how many players on that team should be elevated into the hall, who did what. When you're looking at an interior lineman with as many sacks as he had, you know that he was a dominant player. So he probably should have had consideration well before this. But I'm happy. But again, it's bittersweet. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I don't mean to rain on the parade. And I wanted to come on here in front and fake, but I can't. It's bittersweet. You know, you look at the pictures of, you know, saying the conditions that he's in, and you know, it just, you think about your childhood. Yeah, think about your childhood, and you think about, you know, especially like the life. Like, just remember, like, what was the arena team that he had or whatever?
The Slaughter.
Yeah, like in wrestling, like he was so full of life.
Yeah.
What's up? He was so full of life, and I would have just liked to see a little bit of that guy to be able to enjoy this, particularly with some of his old teammates. But again, he'll always be there. So at least it's immortality. You know what I'm saying? Like he has gained immortality where he'll always be a part of the Hall of Fame. More people will know that didn't know, wasn't born then, Bear fans or not, of the player, and perhaps they'll find out about the guy that he was. Because I mean, I've never met Mongo, Stephen Michael, but he was a full-on character. And like as a kid watching him, like you could tell he grabbed life by the testes and he lived it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still don't live life like that. You know what I'm saying? It can do better. You know what I'm saying? So I bless him and his wife and his family and his friends that he's made it. And I just hope that, you know, he's not going through a lot of pain and suffering, to be honest with you.
Yeah, let me tell you, I met him a few times, and he is just as you said, man. All the stories you heard, he is full of life, dude. He lived it. He loved it. He's definitely an A-type personality, an alpha male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I loved it, you know, and talking with him, and you know, cursing all the time, and not just F this, F that, but it was just part of his vernacular. You know what I mean? And just the way he spoke, and that's how he was. A kid from Texas, you know, ask no quarter, give no quarter. Tough kid. I met him a couple times. A couple guys when I was playing, they played in the Slaughter, and then I coached a couple Bears camps in the summer when he was coaching. So yeah, he was just a great dude, and I'm very, very happy for him. And the only thing is, like, he can experience, he just can't walk. It's still, you know what I mean? Like, because from all reports, like he's cognizant, his brain is still there. It's just his body is what's failing him. And you know, think about this. What kind of guy do you got to be to have Ric Flair, who's a man, flying into Chicago all the time just to be with you? You know what I mean?
Right.
What kind
you
of
live
dude
life.
You gotta be.
You live life. If Ric Flair, like you and Ric Flair had some times. If that's how he's connected to, we're talking about Ric effing Flair. Like, whoa. Like those parties, man, I'm surprised that either one of them were allowed today. Like, you know, they were going hard. You know what I'm saying? So
I think Rick is probably holding the book just so he's kind of out of the limelight, and then whoop, here comes the book. Because I'll tell you what, that is a book I would read. That book I would go and get. It would be on a New York Times bestsellers list, because that would be
easily
crazy story.
Easily.
Let's get to this the current Bears, man. What's going on with our O-line? There's a lot of fluctuation, a lot of injuries, and now Darnell Wright got stepped on, or he stubbed his toe. What happened to Darnell Wright? Because we know Tevin Jenkins is out with 2 calf strains, not one, but both of them. What happened to Darnell Wright?
Dude, lower body injury is as they were saying, hockey. You know, and this is the thing that a lot of people kind of bashed me and my guys on the UC, particularly Josh, when we detailed that this was going to happen, and there's a lack of depth behind that O-line. Everybody was like, look at the paper, and the O-line is set. And I was like, dude, they don't have anybody that if something happens and you know something, this is the Bears, and it's really the NFL team. Let's be honest. O-line will go down. Look at the Packers. and how many times that they had to move guys around, saying because the O-line injured. The thing about the pack is they have versatility. The Bears are paying for a lack of depth. And Ryan Poles messes around sometimes, and he waits for guys to be released. And sometimes you just got to go and pay for that depth, particularly if you were selling out for this season, which it seems like the Bears are and were. You still you can't count on Ja'Tyre Carter and Larry Borum and Lucas Patrick, all right, to kind of come in and fill these gaps when they would have been doing it last year. You know what I'm saying? If you thought, particularly Larry Borum and Lucas Patrick, I know Lucas Patrick got hurt, but he was terrible at guard. We never really got a chance to see him at center of the position they brought him here for. Ja'Tyre Carter, a lower draft pick, so this is his chance. Last year doesn't count because he's a lower round draft pick, so I'll give him a pass. And Larry Borum hasn't been the Larry Borum since this organization switched to its new management. They needed more depth. And I said this before, I think we have to come to grips with the fact that Tevin Jenkins may only be available 70% of the season, if that, and how long are you going to depend on that? It's just it's a cluster F, it's a clusterfuck. Fuck it.
So how you
especially when you're trying to develop this offense and develop Justin, that basically you're going into the season the same way, with Justin being under pressure, and we know the bad habits that he picks up from being under pressure and duress.
So what about so let's talk about Ja'Tyre Carter and Alex Leatherwood, because those are the guys who've been in the guards since the guards have been out. Ja'Tyre Carter last year, a lower round draft pick, but he had a year. He's had a whole off season. Isn't this where the development comes? Isn't this where, we're not asking him to be an all-pro. I'm not asking him to be a gold jacket wearer. I'm asking him to be, more than serviceable. You think his development is up to the point where he's serviceable, where he's, solid and nothing spectacular, just solid?
No, Cornelius, you don't get out of that, Cornelius. You don't get out of this. Don't even try that. You don't get out of this one. You don't get out of this one. I warned your ass. Yeah, he was one of the people. I warned your ass. Shawn, listen, this is the thing. Yes, in a perfect world, you're correct, right? But there's a reason he fell to the place where he fell. He may never be serviceable. And by no means am I trying to diss the young man. Hopefully, as you're saying, this opportunity he benefits from, and he shows that, look, I'm a guy that I can provide depth and I can provide spot duty at times, but you have to see it. But you can't depend on that. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have to have an insurance policy just in case, because we know these guys go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that again to me, it's just the last week and a half, to be honest with you, I've become, and I haven't said this any place, I've become worried about this offense. You know what I'm saying? Like I've become worried about this offense, and it's going to be an interesting season because it went from 2 weeks ago where it's like, okay, the defense should probably be good, and the offense should be good to decent. At times I'm sure it's going to sputter, but you have a home run hitter as far as a guy that can run like Justin, a guy with a nice arm. He just has to have consistent accuracy and also not play hero ball majority of the time. But now with these holes, I wonder what scheme Luke Getsy is going to, and I always wonder about Luke Getsy in general, but I wonder what scheme he's going to be able to provide them with a quarterback that probably has to get rid of the ball a lot earlier than they expected going into the season.
What about Leatherwood? And a few the things that I watched with him, I like what he's done. He kind of got in the way of a screen last game, but that was because he was trying to get a second.
He has the pedigree. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that a lot of people thought should be a guard. I think confidence is something where, looking at what he went through with the Raiders, I'm sure his confidence was shot. I will hope he could be. That would be nice, especially you're paying him still on that rookie contract for a first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I will hope that he could be. So that'll be good. Again, look, prove me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, by all means, prove me wrong. And listen, we have guys and we have depth. And Ken, you don't know. No, I didn't say that. And you know I did. See, so it's like that now. Now we playing politics in this bad boy, right? That's not what I said. I said depth. They should have went out and got 2 guys early.
Yeah, but so what do you think that they're waiting because the NFL doesn't have a gradual cut period anymore? So now it's everybody. It's
but the problem. Look what it got you last year. Like Riley Reef was okay, but Michael Schofield was trash. So like that, like you can wait, but you may need to just invest in some guys that are long in their career. And yeah, they want to be starters, but you're paying them enough to be like, dude, just sit your ass back there in case one of these kids go down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you needed to do.
Check. Keep your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Collect this check.
Yes, collect this extra. Yeah, collect it because there's guys like just and bring them in. But again, look, I could be wrong. I'd be fine being wrong. And Ja'Tari Carter takes another step. Alex Leatherwood becomes, I won't even say the pro he was expected to be, but a serviceable guard. And particularly, like I said, with the issues with Tevin Jenkins, that you would always kind of have a guy if something went wrong with Tevin Jenkins and he can be a good spot starter. I'll be fine with it. It's just I'm talking about before. Now hindsight may be 2020, and I could be like I'm saying I could be wrong. But before we see what's happening this season, what we always see, what we already heard, what's been going on at camp, where it hasn't looked good a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? It offense isn't flowing. I can come over here and lie. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm using that a lot this morning. I come over here and lie. But like when I'm like, cause dude, when I'm hearing it and shit don't sound good. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like, oh yeah, we about to unveil this weapon on their ass. That's not what I'm getting, right? Like I wish. Like that's what I want to hear. The positivity. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see, man. But this offensive, like this was a thing. This was the fear that, and not having an edge rusher. But this was the fear because it's not even just Ryan Pace. It's here. It could be training staff, but our offensive line has been decimated at some particular time throughout the season, damn near throughout the last 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Since 2019, basically, at least 2020. You know what I'm saying? It's been a recurring issue. And again, I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the league, but it's happened here, and it's really held us back a lot of times. And the only time where it hurt us because they went on like a 5-6 game losing streak, but then they came back and won like 5 games at the end of the season when that refangled offensive line kind of got together and they finished at 500 that year under Nagy or whatever. They were 8-8. But think about how bad that line was and how long it took for them to find guys. And you don't want to be in a similar situation. Again, that was a different regime, but that was kind of the fear that I was having with this offensive line. Because this is the thing too. They still had questions. We still don't know who Nate Davis is. Like we act like, yo, we got Nate Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Nate Davis is in the house.
He's got some tape and he's shown to be a good player. But the only thing I'll agree with you on that is we don't know who he is in this offense.
That's what and health.
If that's what you mean, then
that's
then
what
I agree
That's
with you.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not like we haven't seen him. Like that's cool what he did there, but if he doesn't do it here, it doesn't matter. But really, it goes back to availability, and that goes again to pace with. What was the medicals on Nate Davis? You know what I'm saying? We all know that I love Tevin Jenkins. Yeah. All right, never get that twisted. Yeah, I love Tevin Jenkins. We were doing a happy dance when he got drafted. Yeah, like I root for him. But it becomes where, this is an issue where every year since your rookie year, and you basically almost didn't play that season, you're out. Like you're not available. Darnell Wright's a rookie. The expectation now, high pedigree, higher than Braxton Jones being a 5th round pick. This guy, the SEC, he's still a rookie. Braxton Jones is a project. Like this, like it doesn't, like when I'm saying this, does this sound like, we was straight? Like that's all I'm just trying to because as fans, that's our team, we love them. But sometimes it's that 30,000, a view from above where it's like, that may look like there's a little shenanigans as far as that may not be right. You know what I'm saying? That was just my fear as far as this offensive line this season, with it being so important with identifying the progress of your quarterback.
Well, speaking of that now, so what do you do? All right, because the offensive line's in flux. Going into the season, the last preseason game on Saturday, which I think I'm going to be at that game. What do you do? Do you sit Justin Fields? Do you say, no, I need him some reps. I need him. Give me your thoughts.
He better get. You have to get used to playing behind this line anyway, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm serious. He's going to have to get used to playing behind this line. So he needs to get. Also, it's not like, yo, we can rest him because he's straight. He got it. Like, that's not it either. He needs to get out there. You know what I'm saying? I know in our text thread, you and Jason were going back and forth as far as should he have played last week. And you know how important it was to sit there and have the team's scrimmage or whatever, and how it's better than preseason game, whatever that was, right? He needs to play versus the Bills, all right, and he needs to play a little more than a quarter, and it's going to be interesting to see behind this makeshift offensive line how he performs. But he needs to play. He needs reps, live reps with guys who you can't sack him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get mad at Kenny Moore for rolling on him. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm talking about a guy that when he clears through, he's trying to put the pain on Justin and see so Justin get used to live action again without having the red jersey on. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a question. He needs to get out there, man. He needs to get ready. This is what the line's going to be. And look. What it may be this weekend doesn't necessarily have to be what it is in week 4. And I'm talking about like with the same guys, because if they can grow, we've seen it. They can grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just murky dismal in the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may be able to grow and be decent to where now, I mean, and also they have the running attack. If they can run, the thing that'll help this offensive line, if the subs can still provide block for running, that'll mitigate a decent amount of this mess.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because you can do a lot of play action. You can still impose your will on opposing teams. You know what I'm saying? If they can still run the ball close to what they did last year, it'll benefit them. But if these guys aren't going to be sustainable when it comes to run blocking, Bears in some trouble.
So and guys, we're joined by Ken Davis, the host of the NBC Sports Chicago podcast, Under Center podcast on NBC Sports Chicago. Let me learn how to speak properly. And then we're talking Bears football. So then explain to me, do you think it was now, how important is it that we've gotten reports from your guys and from other people that Justin Fields has really learned to take the check down? Justin Fields has really learned to hit the running backs out of the backfield, especially now that this offensive line is in flux. All right, for how long, we don't know. But now that it's in flux, how important is that going to be for him and his longevity?
Extremely. You want your quarterback to have the heart to want to be a hero, right? But Justin isn't Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is Justin has a supreme weapon at the end of his ankles. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does. Like, you do. You can change a game, dog, with 3 plays, right? Like, totally change. The Bears have about 14, right? And he can change that. He can flip that game with 2 long runs, and we back on that ass, right? Like, and that's the part of checking down. Like, now this is a problem. This would be an issue if he couldn't run like that. Right. Because then it's like, dude, sometimes you're going to have to stand in the rain, stand under that barrel and get hit and try to, you know what I'm saying, get that ball to that wide receiver because there's no other option. Right. But there is an option. Live to fight another day because you can flip a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so getting to another point you're saying with, you know, the screenplays where he lacked touch when it came to that. He's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Those bunnies that he wasn't doing well last year, he's been able to do it. You know, I always said if he learns to just take the check down, throw the ball away. Throw the ball away, man.
Throw the first row.
Just even for field position, you know what I'm saying, for the next series. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like get the ball away so you're not benefiting your opponent by being in a bad field position, and then it's easier on their offense. But if you can sit there, get them at the other end, pin them back with the defense, now you guys are on the 45 or the 50, and it's a shorter field, and you don't have to try to drive 90 yards to try to get into the end zone and kick a field goal. So he's gonna have to do that. And also, but Luke S is also gonna have to be a guy that can dial up different looks to where, you know, he has to check down, but even it's a different look where it looks like at this point he would, but it's a bomb play. Like, it's bigger than him, because I don't know if the guy calling the plays is a mastermind yet or not. But it's not going to matter, because in all fairness, it's going to fall on Justin, because that's what nationally and what locally people are for the most part going to be talking about.
Switch sides of the ball. What about the defense? All right. The Tremaine Edmonds finally come back. That dude was out for like almost 3 weeks, between 2 and 3 weeks, and he was day to day, and it turned into 2+ weeks. You know, you have Javon Dexter not getting as much, not making as big an impact as we thought he would, or we'd hoped he would. I think Zach Pickens has made more of an impact than Javon Dexter. Give me your thoughts on the defense. How you know, and Yannick Ngakoue is still ramping up, apparently, I guess. Hopefully he should get more time this. But our guy Terrell Lewis, he's in there getting a sack a game, getting pressure a game, get strip sack, forced fumble a game. I'm like, yeah.
He made it. He's not on the bubble.
No,
your guy, man. You've been talking about this dude, boy. I'm gonna get it. That's all your I gotta give you your props with Terrell Lewis. Look, real quick. I think we all knew that Pickens was going to be performed earlier than Javon Dexter, because Javon Dexter has more learning than Pickens has, you know, as far as what they were using him to do at Florida. And we talked to Shawn Spencer, co-head coach and the defensive coordinator, and he raved about Javon. And he raved about Zach Pickens, actually, too. It's going to take a second. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a season. Like, it's just, again, he has it. But we have to see his football IQ. Now, we've been hearing that he has a high football IQ. You know what I'm saying? But we have to see it. So, and it's going to take him just like the same way. And of course, he got drafted higher, but just the same way with Braxton Jones, or even how you were mentioning Ja'Tyre Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want so much from these two interior linemen, but we knew for the system that Pickens was already ahead, because you're asking him to be the 3 technique when he's in there primarily. And if you got the wiggle to get in the backfield, it's easy for you to do your job compared to some of the things they're asking Javon Dexter to do, and to learn how to necessarily do that. When it comes to Yannick Ngakoue, I just hope he's healthy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're being smart with him. It'll be foolish if he was out all this time, no OTAs, no nothing, and you were like, get your ass out there. Oh, Shawty pulled something so bad. But I'll say this. I would be a lot harder on Tremaine Edmonds being out if he had an injury history. So since I think he's only missed like 6 games for the entirety of his career with the Buffalo Bills. So, because I think it was, he played like 88 of 90-something games, something in the range where it's within 10 games, but it's less than 10 that he's only missed. If he had a history where, he was out, I'd be like, man, what the hell did y'all do? You know what I'm saying? But since he does not, as of right now, Shawn, he does not have
as
this
of right now.
As of right now. See me by week 6. Sorry. As of right now. So I'm waiting to see. And the DBs, it's filthy. Like
that was my next question, bro. That was my next question. Go ahead.
I hate to do this. I would expect perhaps, they go trenches again in the first round next year. In the first round. And and I know everyone wants Marvin Harrison Jr. If he's there, fine, whatever. But if they can get a stud edge rusher and probably keep Yannick Ngakoue for a couple of seasons, with those DBs, and those DBs are healthy, and Eddie Jackson stays healthy too. When we were on What's Up Cuz last week, I talked about I've never seen a player come from the depths of hell in Chicago that Eddie Jackson was to come back to a Pro Bowl level, basically. If he's healthy, Brisker, Gordon. I mean, man, look at Gordon is out there doing it, and you're talking about a kid that had his head spinning around last year. Didn't even really want to play nickel. Let's be honest, right? And now we talked to Dave Wannstedt about 2-3 months ago, and he was talking with Matt Eberflus and the complexity of the nickel in this defense, and the type of what he has to know what to do and what not to do, depending on how the offense changes and how it influences the rest of the defense. Like, you're asking a lot of this kid. This is not just you stick on the guy in the slot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more complex. It's a lot more complex than that. But I mean, the DBs, that's one thing. It seems like, I mean, dude, 2 weeks ago, Tyreek Stevenson, who we were all high on, right, was fighting with, and he still is, and he said it'll be entire season with Terrell Smith. And now at this point, he's totally taking the job. But the point I'm bringing up, you got another guy who's even bigger and physical on the bench, and Terrell Smith. You know what I'm saying? If he can stay healthy, like, before last year, outside of the offensive line, the defensive backfield was the worst room they had. Yeah. Like, don't forget, all you had was Eddie Jackson. You had Eddie, and you didn't. I'm sorry. You had Jalen Johnson, and Eddie was a dead man walking. That's what I should say, right? Yeah, then you bring in Brisker and Gordon, and Eddie Jackson comes back, right? And now you add another DB in Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, and you still have Jalen Johnson out there. If they can pressure the quarterback, they're going to get some turn. If Tremaine Edmonds can really be a ball deflector over the middle of the field, it's going to be some issues. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and the thing is too, and I worried about this, and we talked about this last year, that when you bring in a defensive coordinator that's now your head coach, you expect for the defense to come along faster, and you expect it to be cheaper, because you're probably going to put more money on the offensive side of the ball, because you're probably going to kind of draft for his side, because you're looking at him to be able to get that defense going faster, so you don't necessarily have to go out and spend crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because really the only player on that defense they spent crazy for is Tremaine Edmonds. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yannick Ngakoue got a 1-year deal for, 12 mil, 10 to 12 mil. That's not crazy money. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that defense, they got pressure, man. And the thing is too, go ahead.
What do you think about Ngakoue? And here's why I asked that. All right, he's been on 4 teams? All right, 4 or 5 teams, and he's only been in the league 6 years, 8 years. Okay.
That 1 year you can't. That Minnesota year, because remember the Vikings brought him in, and they thought they were going to be like a contender. Then they were bad, and then they sent him out. Where he got moved, like he went to 3 different teams in the season, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Well, he came there, then they moved him because it wasn't working out.
But do you think if he finds a spot, like if this defense starts just making some noise, and he might say, hey, you know what? I think I like it here. I like it here. You know,
I definitely.
Cool. The old lady likes it here too. You know what I mean?
Right,
you got
right. She liked the shopping. Yeah, she liked the shopping.
If you don't want to keep moving again, you know, you're gonna get him a 3-year, 4-year deal. You know, front loaded for the first 3 seasons. Last year, you know,
3 year. That's really 3 year. That's really a 2-year.
3 for 2, not 4 for 3. Okay.
Yeah, because like you think about, he's 28. He'd be 29 when you give him that deal. Like I said, hopefully you would draft a guy that can be, and then yeah. So you would draft somebody to be the opposite guy for him, and then after that, a couple years, you draft somebody else, or you maybe find a guy in the later rounds. So think about it. At one point, they're not going to have to do as many offensive linemen as they do in the draft, because I'm not saying they won't still draft offensive linemen, because if they can identify them, but it's going to be easier for you to now go off of this player is special in this round rather than we got the need and we think this player may be special. I think he's going to be here for a couple years. And then the thing is, too, I like the fact that they gave themselves the flexibility that he may not, right? So if it doesn't work, but clearly they signed him. He's going to know the organization. The facilities are nice, right? He's going to have a year in Chicago. As he said before, he doesn't want to leave. He thinks he should have been here, but of course you're going to say that when you finally sign a contract. Yeah. But also, this is too, if the defense is nice and spicy too, this defense is going to be spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna,
you know what I'm saying?
The ass to a lot of people.
They're gonna be some jerks in a good way, right?
Like Tyreek Stevenson throwing that dude out of bounds. I'm like, yeah, don't get that penalty, but yeah.
Yes, they're gonna be some asses, you know, and that's what you want. You want just like you want nasty offensive line. You want the defense to sit there and get twisted up with the guy getting off, and he trips and he's mad and he damn near wants to throw a punch. Like you want them, not that you don't want them playing over the line, but you want them so close to that edge of that bad boy, and it seems like they are, man. It seems like they are. Oh, he said he's going to Honolulu. Safe flight. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, be safe, baby. Have fun. All right, have fun out there. Enjoy. It's gonna be difficult to not have fun in paradise because you're not. At least you're not on the fire island either. So you should be good. But dude, I'm liking them the DBs, bro. You know, I played. Most of the time I've been fortunate enough to play with good DBs, and they're Jags. They're Jag-offs, dude. They're, you know what, and they are. And as a running back, I hated it, but as a defensive coordinator or when I'm on the sideline and they're out there, dude, I love it. I love the nitpicking, and they just do something little. You know, as little as knocking the ball out of your hand. You just burn them for a 15-yard comeback, and they get up. They're like, yeah, they're holding it up, and you just. You know, the wide receiver, those little things add up. And these guys are, you know, they have that swag. Eddie, man, I like Tyreek Stevenson. And just cut down on the penalties, learn how to not step over that line, just toe it. But, you know, I like him. He's big, strong, physical. He's got to do a much better job of getting picks because two picks went through his hands. I'm not happy about that. But,
but at least he's there.
Yeah. Now you got to make the play. Now you got. I'm not damning him to hell because he missed 2 picks.
No, I didn't think you were. But at least at least he's right now. At least he's there. Right. At least he's there. Oh, look, clearly he's gonna get some picks, but also just knock the damn ball down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's and it's definitely you want the turnovers, but man, just stop the opposing player, because particularly that touchdown in the end zone. Just knock the damn ball down. Sometimes you don't even have to try to go for a pick. Just that play. It would have been nice to get a pick, but he should have just knocked the ball down and then it's over. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm a big Tyreek Stevenson fan. The worries about him adjusting from going to a zone defense basically have been quelched. It looks like it's gonna be nice with that shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, you already got Jalen Johnson on the other side. They don't like throwing it his way. They got to throw it someplace.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna throw over the middle.
And at first they gonna throw it at him. They might at first they're gonna throw it at him.
You gotta throw it at the rookie. You have to. And he
and when he eats, they're gonna have to start going back on the Jalen side. And finally, Jalen may get some turnovers that I know the Jalen haters have been on his ass about not getting. So the defense, I'm happy that this defense now seems like it's coming along, and we can see this side. Or Matt Eberflus not trying to disrespect Alan Williams, but being that that's his strong suit, that we can kind of see it happen here. It's gonna be sweet, man. Like that. At least they have something. Now I put it like this: at least they have something to hang their hat on. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, they found out the running. They can hang their hat on the running. You know what I'm saying? Now this year can be where you still have the running, but you have a defense. Now I'll say this on the flip side: can they stop the run? Like that's
the key. That's the key. Running
that's the part. In our lifetime. The Bears, it's more of a rarity when the Bears are a bad run team. The Bears may not be able to pressure a quarterback some seasons, right? But usually they're one of the better run stopping teams. They have that year where it kind of gets out of whack, but usually when it comes to run stopping from the 80s Bears, from Lovey's Bears, you know what I'm saying, partially the Nagy Bears, that's when it started getting out of whack. You know what I'm saying? But usually if they can stop the run, oh baby, it's gonna be fun times, and that's with the offense that may not be consistent, you know. But this last part, if they're able to get a lot more turnovers, it's going to give Justin and the offense a lot more bites at the apple.
A lot more bites and a lot more shorter fields. No pun intended. Or pun intended.
Great point.
You got to, do I have to go 40 yards? Or do I have to go 75 yards? Big difference. That 35. At least, because he's looking good, Carlos Santos. At least we're getting 3. All right,
That's what I was just about to say.
6. Yeah, that's 6 points. Yep. That's now you got to score a tutty with the extra point to win. So Yeah, that defense, it's smart. I love what Ryan Pohl, and I've mentioned it to you before, just the competition, the depth at various positions. We talked about the O-line, even so, but now in Tyree Carter, you feel like you're a starter. Now's your time to show up. Alex Leatherwood, you think you got a bad deal in Vegas? Now's your time to show up. He's got everybody fighting for a job. He's got everybody competing, and dude, that's really all you can ask for. Compete. And especially on the defense and that secondary, boy, Terrell Smith don't want to sit out there. I mean, sit on the sideline. He wants to get in.
Right.
But where can you get in when everybody's eating? Who's out there? Man, they're performing at a high level. So I love it. I'm excited for Saturday. I'm excited to see this defense play. I'm excited to see what they do for the offense. Because they had Cody Whitehair at guard and they had Kramer at center. Excuse me. So see how that works. I just want them to say, listen, this is the starting five going in for game one. Whether you come back healthy or not, no worries. We'll just game two. Let that starting 5-0 line play Saturday and then go into Sunday, go into week one together. Now you got a week 2+ weeks of continuity of knowing who's everyone. You know what I mean? That's what I want. And if Tevin comes back or anyone comes back week 2 or 3, no problem. But just get at least that opening game because one is Green Bay. All right, I want to set the tone because I can't stand those people. But 2, it sets the tone for the season. All right, week 1, you want to be 1-0 as opposed to 0-1, and especially if it happens to be from that against that team up north. So, fired up, bro. I'm fired up. And the last before we let you go, man, your thoughts on the news? The big shakeup over on 35th and Shields, Williams and Hahn, they gone.
It's about time. I think we all knew. I think we all knew this is what should happen. The fear was Jerry never does what we think should happen, right? Now the fear is more of the same. I mean, you talked about it. Nightingale's talking about Chris Getz, and it's like, so what's the difference between Chris from Rick Hahn? You know what I'm saying? If these guys are like. If these guys are like, you run our farm system, you know how much you have to trust someone to put them in charge of your farm system and how highly you have to think of them. And I'm not dissing it. I wish I'm not dissing it. Because I hope he is better than them. You know what I'm saying? Like as a Sox fan and a guy that, he was a guy that was here when we won it. It's cool that they kept him. They brought him back. He rose up through their system and became the head guy of the farm system or whatever. You like to hear things like that, but the farm system is trash. Like that, it'll be different now. If the farm system was rich, I wouldn't want him to go. I'd be like, yeah, you got to hold on to him anyway because we still need to have a nice farm system, right? But like it's the farm system, they haven't been outside of the guys they got from trades. They really haven't been producing their own or signing international players. They really haven't been producing guys. And that goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. And this was my fear. I said it when we were in our text thread last night, that when they did the rebuild, and I never believed, Rick is in charge, things are going to be better. Because I think, to me, Kenny Williams' failures were both of them, and Rick Hahn's failures were both of them. They were always intertwined, right? And it seems like it was worse for handcuffing Rick Hahn. Maybe it would have been nice to see what Rick Hahn would have done if he was never handcuffed. I don't think it would have been World Series. But you sat here and you have those guys, and this guy's connected to them. But the point I was going to make was this: no, they've never been able to pick everyday players, and then you're doing a rebuild, and you're supposed to go into someone else's farm system and know how to identify everyday players. That was always a worry of mine. Right, like of course Boston's gonna be like, you want Devers? I'm gonna give you Moncada and Kopech. Like, and this was like I remember, and it's so funny. I thought about this yesterday. I remember, and you were at one of those games. I remember Kopech's debut.
I was there.
Maz went out there for the first one of the first and second games. My God, you know. And my thing then was always like, everyone's acting like it's a foregone conclusion that this guy is that dude, right? Like everyone was like, because we got him in the trade for Chris Sales, you got to be, right? And it's 4 years later, and what?
5.
Damn.
It just came up. Monday was the 5-year anniversary of Kopech Day, and it came up on my Facebook page. I'm like, oh shit, and I forgot to mention it on the show. It was 5 years Mondays.
5 years, and that's on them. That's on those two guys. You know what I'm saying? That's on them going in someone else's farm system and being like, yo, can I have? Now I'm not saying that they're going to give you, but that's when you make a deal with somebody else. You know what I mean? And if somebody's not going to give you what you want, and you got the best the best signed arm in the MLB, you got one of the top 3 best pitchers in MLB at that time in Chris Sale. Whatever, as far as talent and what he had, it was what's the name with the Dodgers, basically. Clayton Kershaw. It was Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, and then basically Chris Sale. Because at that point, Justin Verlander, we didn't know he was able to turn his career back around and beat Justin Verlander. Wonder how he did that, but we didn't know he was going to be able to pull. But that's the rare air at that part that Chris Sale was flowing in.
Yes,
that he was in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's a lefty. You know what I'm saying? A nasty lefty. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, he won that. They got what they want. The worst part is they got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boston isn't the same Boston that they were in the odds, but they got another World Series, and we're at another rebuild damn near right now. And this, I feared this when everybody was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be just like the Cubs." It's like, dude, that doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Just because the Cubs tore down and rebuilt and got one World Series out of it doesn't mean. And the Sox waited too long. I believe that when the Cubs did it, they should have done it. They should have tore it down. We both gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, they waited and then they did it. And then it was always who's in charge, because those guys never showed us that this was a strong suit of theirs. And Kenny One never usually wants to do it. So it's good that they're gone. I wish them success. I don't hate them. Kenny Williams bought me a World Series title. So I'm always going to have an affinity for Kenny Williams. Rick Hahn was a guy that a lot of other organizations had interest in at certain points during his career. Let him, now you can go work for those organizations, Rick.
Yeah.
But I would love for them to go outside. I would like for them to get the guy that his name leads me. He's with the Blue Jays now, but he was he was with the Rays and he was with the Houston Astros. I want a guy that's in part of the Rays, the Dodgers, or the Padres. You know what I'm saying? Like or somebody who's been close with what they're doing in Baltimore. I want somebody who is great at building farm systems, right? Like, so it's sustainability, but also it's assets to move if you got to go big. And I want a guy who has enough connections where it's a lot easier for free agents to perhaps come here because he's connected to a lot of these big name agents, and you don't have a love-hate relationship with Scott Boras. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is here, the money can be here. So if we look at this as like I know we talked about the Brewers guy coming in. Excuse me. You don't have to be small market. If you're winning, we are going to fill the seats up. There's going to be money to where you can actually spend. But Sox fans, man, you got to win. We get tired of the okie doke. Us Southsiders don't play the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. Like, if the Bears played 100, the Bears played 50 games, Soldier Field would be in trouble. And or wherever the hell they playing, because the fact that they only play 8 to 9 games a year allows them to fans still want to be out there for football. But if they played a large amount of games, we would let them feel it the same way we let the damn Sox feel it. It's sad looking at the stands and the highlights when the Sox are playing. It's like, damn, but they deserve it.
Yeah,
you know, it's like stop doing us like that. Like, I even put it like this, even if you would just spit, and I know that's not like one of the cheapest rosters right now, but even if he was like, you know what, man, I'm going out, I'm gonna get an ace. And this season still may not have went the way it went, but at least we know you were trying. You weren't like, now we're gonna par it back a little bit. You told us we was going for it. We was in the window, right? So again, Shawn, like you were saying before with Emilio before I came on here, it's good to have a day where it feels good. I'm always probably hope springs eternal. So if it's Chris Getz and someone from the Rangers, hopefully it works better than this worked. Hopefully it worked better than this. That's I could hope, right? But if I'm looking at what has usually happened, and he comes from that, it's like it's going to be good for a quick second, and then they're not going to know what to do to go to the next level, and then we're going to have to start all over again. And I hope that finally stops, but they have to prove me wrong.
Yeah, they got to prove it's this whole Sox Nation. And to me, the managerial hire is going to be huge. Is it going to be one of those dudes who's just not a puppet? Is it going to be an Ozzy type guy? Is it going to be a Bruce Bochy type where they don't, you know what? I'm running it. Not you up there. I'm running it. You know, because you get that type of manager, man, then you know what? Then there's a lot more hope involved. But are they going to have put the ego aside?
Let me ask you this. So you bring in a Chris Getz. Now, as a young VP of baseball operations, I believe he will be. He's going to be the VP, and they're going to bring in a general manager. So he's just going to be the general manager.
No, he might be the VP, but he'll be the GM. He'll be the GM, is what. That's what our guy Bob. Here's exactly what Nightingale said. Promote Chris Getz to GM.
Okay, so this is my thing. We'll put that up real quick. One more time, please. I don't think that was Dayton Moore. Who's running this? Is Dayton Moore? He says he's the Ranger executive. Is he going to be the guy over? I would take he's over Chris Getz. And the reason I'm bringing this up, is this: is Chris Getz really going to want to have someone he can't control under him with his first run as general manager? And this is what you run into when you bring in a rookie to do something like this. Right.
No, Dayton Moore is going to be Chris's boss. So it'll be Dayton Moore and then Chris Getz.
But remember, look at what Rick Hahn did. Yeah. Rick Hahn always wanted someone that he could control down there, right? And he was the daring guy. Right. So I'm just saying, when you bring in someone, everything that you said and mentioned that you hope he is, right? A guy that could remove his ego to where he could have an Ozzy type dude come in there and straighten this mess out, right? That's easier when you have a veteran guy because he's been through the wars compared to a guy that's trying to prove something. You know what I'm saying? Now, I hope I'm wrong, and Chris Getz isn't like that. And he knows that he can have a good working relationship without someone who's perhaps done this before. Because look, and also, are we saying this? Everybody that you named, do you expect for them to go out and get someone who was a manager before in the MLB, or do you expect for them to go out and bring in a guy who was sitting on somebody else's bench like Pedro Grifol?
I want, and if they were a smart team, you go and get a guy who's done it before. You go get an Ozzy, you go get a Bochy, you go get a Girardi, you go get a Madden, you go get someone who's done it before. But that comes with risk. That comes with combat. Like I was listening to Ozzy this morning. I love Ozzy. And he was saying that he was talking about his relationship with Kenny. He goes, but Kenny knew. He goes, he got a manager who's not going to take any garbage. He had a man who's going to fight with him, who's going to argue with him. He knew that. And is Chris Getz going to be willing to do that, to have a manager say, no, I don't want that. No, that's not what we need. That's not what we need. Because if you push your ego to the side and you argue, debate, whatever, have a conversation, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, and you okay, this is what you want, fine. I don't like it, but fine.
Right.
Then we're cooking with gas.
Because this clubhouse culture has to change.
Bingo.
Like this is the bring in the tough guy time, right?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Not TLR 15 years removed, but dude, a guy that's been tough last year, you know what I'm saying? Like it's time to bring in the ass, right? Yeah. Like it's time, and it's his place. And if you don't like it, it's time for your ass to go. Yeah. Like it's time to set a what's the culture? Like think about that. What the hell? Has the culture been? Like this whole run, the culture it's been losing because they had to do a rebuild. So none of these players, for the most part, unless they came in the free agency, were winners. Pito had to go through losing since he had been over here in the MLB, right? It's just the culture was never strong, and then you had managers that didn't connect with the players. Ricky did, but then you bring in Tony La Russa, and that alone was just one of the biggest that ever happened. Yeah, I mean that waste. Yeah, it killed it, and that still doesn't mean that they had a World Series contender, but they killed what little chance they had to be good for maybe 3 to 4 seasons. You know what I'm saying? And then we would have been angry. Like they accelerated the crazy thing is this, Shawn, they accelerated the anger so much from the high. Sox fans have never been online as far as everybody agreeing. Cubs fans kept hitting me up like, why y'all so mad about Tony La Russa? And it was like, man, what? Right? Like also, it wasn't just like a few of us. It wasn't split. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what the hell are you doing? Right? And so we got mad from that point, and it's never been right. And it's not that it's all Tony's fault. You know what I'm saying? But that alone, and it's just, look, dude, on top of that, let me, before I go, the audacity, the sheer mitigated gall to hit us with a moving to Nashville mess.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. All right. You want to play games? Because, dude, I'm not coming. Right? I'm not gonna become a Cubs fan, but like I said, you've been cheating on me so bad and treating me wrong. I want you to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like I dare you to sit there and think that you can build with what you had here. All you gotta do is win.
Yeah.
Like we seen how packed that place get. You remember, look, Paul Konerko's I was at Paul Konerko's last game. All right, that had nothing to do with contending or nothing. That house can get packed. But man, they spit on us. Yeah. And that's the thing that makes. That's why it's like I'm not the type of dude. I'm my neighbor. I'm sorry. I have a neighbor. I saw him this morning. I dropped my son off. I came back in the house. Him and his woman, something's going on. I don't get in people's business. I ain't asked him nothing, right? And I'm sure he'd been asking. And like, does he ask about me? No. If y'all ain't saying nothing, I ain't saying nothing. He can't park in front of their house, right? He up in our spot, right? I asked him, I'm like, man, how you doing? Not good. I said, dude, you living? It's just not good. And then I look, he cut his hair, and then I say again, all right, man, do better, man, because if you got that, and dude, I could feel the negativity. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I can literally feel it from him. And it's like, bro, you living. You got it. Every time you live and you got a chance. And the reason I'm bringing this up, the negativity that I felt there is what the Sox do to have the nerve, the mitigated gall to tell us to try to get a new stadium. You're going to pull the same St. Petersburg trash on us? Like, dog, I done did you two right for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be at games. You know what I'm saying? Games. Yeah. And you ran me up out of there. You ran me out of there.
Just double-digit games a year, bro. A double-digit number of games every year.
I love baseball. And I can't give you my money because you keep smacking me. And I'm supposed to be like, it's okay, smack me small. Like, man,
Thank you, sir, man. Have another. Thank you, sir, man.
Exactly. Dude, I'm from the South Side, bro. I'm from the South Side, man. We scuffle over stuff like that. But yeah, man, that's how I feel, bro. Thank you for letting me get that out, because these motherfuckers.
Oh, dude. Hey, before we let you go, man, let everyone know where they can find you on TV and online.
Make sure you check out or subscribe to That Davis Show. We back over there. We need to do a White Sox pod, but they don't deserve it. Check out me on NBC Sports every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Today at 5:30 p.m. Josh Schrock, Alex Shapiro, myself, Tony, and Claire running the show. We have Matthew Berry talking fantasy, talking about the Bears for fantasy reasons. So if you want to draft some Bears, maybe find out where he ranks the top five. Ask him his top five fantasy guys in the NFC North, so you get to hear about that. So check that out this evening, and they rerun it. And subscribe to the Under Center podcast. And Shawn, I always appreciate you all, everybody in the chat. Definitely be safe. And man, you alive. All right. Like, it's a lot of people down under wish that it was up. You're alive, man. Appreciate it, because man, it's not gonna be here forever.
Damn sure ain't. Hey, Bob, I appreciate it, man. We'll definitely be in touch soon. And let me know. I'm most likely going Friday to the '90s tour with Vanilla Ice, Tone Loc, and Rob Bass. I'm going to that concert, the Sox game.
Rob Bass is gonna be there.
Rob Bass, Tone Loc, and Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
All right, man. We'll talk.
No doubt.
All right. Hey, guys, we got to run, man. That was an awesome show. I want to thank my guys. Ken Davis, you just saw. I also want to thank Emilio Bucks. We got to run. Thank you so much. It's hot. It's going to be hot out there. If you get to a pool, if you have a friend with a pool, get there. Check on your elder family members. It's going to be crazy. But you know what? We'll see you on Friday. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. to noon. But we got to go. Your boy, the SuperBack. I am out.